You're watching Town Talk, and joining me today is Kelly Howley. Kelly is the Director of the Council on Aging and the Barnstable Adult Community Center. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me today.
So we're going to talk about age-friendly and dementia-friendly. These are two designations that the Barnstable Adult Community Center recently earned. Although the age-friendly was a few years ago, the dementia-friendly is more recent.
Correct.
And we just want to let everybody know what these designations mean and what will be happening over the next year or two at the Barnstable Adult Community Center in support of these. So let's talk about the partnership between the Barnstable Council on Aging, the Center for Social and Demographic Research on Aging, and the Massachusetts Council on Aging that help bring the age-friendly and dementia-friendly designation to Barnstable.
Awesome. Yeah, well, in 2015, there was a needs assessment done by UMass Boston School of Gerontology. They were commissioned to help the town assess, aging in place and the needs of, through the community center, but within the community at large as well. And so that was a great partnership, lasted for quite a few years with a lot of work being done. And what came out of that was an action plan for us to use as a tool to implement the different domains of age-friendly at the time, because we were just age-friendly. And so when I came in, we finished that document and got it live. So we actually renewed the age-friendly designation. And then we worked towards getting the dementia-friendly designation, which happened this past fall. That was through Mass Councils on Aging. And so we had a ceremony when we got that, and then we put a steering group in place to help roll out the different endeavors that we would take on in those realms.
Right. Now, I went back through the presentation that was given in September at the town council meeting, and one of the statistics that I found most interesting was that by 2030, 39% of the population in Barnstable will be 60 plus, which that's a large part of our population, and that shows how important these age-friendly designations and these dementia-friendly designations are to our community as a whole, because it's for the people now, but this is also working towards for the people in 10, 20 years.
Absolutely.
Setting up programs and services that will support for the years to come.
And we've already superseded that. We're at 42%.
Wow.
So we've beat out that 2030 number.
Oh, wow.
Currently.
That's amazing. So this is very important. It's not just, if you're not in that age group right now, that doesn't mean, this is going to be for you. I mean, I'm 43, I think. Yes, I'm 43. So I will be part of that demographic in 17 years. So it's which seems like a long time, but it's really not. So knowing that this is the work that's being done now that's going to support our population moving forward, I think is amazing. So I want to just kind of read this real quick about what an age-friendly community is so our viewers are aware. An age-friendly community optimizes opportunities for health, participation, and security for all people to ensure quality of life and dignity as people age. And along with that, there are 8 domains that are focused in an age-friendly community, and then there's 2 more added on top of that when you're a dementia-friendly community. So let's kind of go over a few of those. One of the first ones is transportation. So what is the BAC doing for transportation, which I know is a big
so that was
part
the
of
first
it.
one we took on.
Yeah.
Actually, kind of before all this work was done, we were working on that in the background. So, the first thing we did was we were able to get transportation at the Council on Aging back up and rolling. So we have a pilot program going right now, and 3 days a week we operate the van or the bus, and it's picking up. It's very popular, and everybody's appreciative that that's back in motion. So that was one of the things. And as we first started to meet as a group, we're identifying other things around transportation that we can do, and even as far as walk audits, there's been some done, but we're going to look back at some of those for some of the villages, because walking is transportation, as we know.
It is.
We'll be working with Barnstable Neighbor to Neighbor. We have a great relationship with CCRTA, and we have somebody in our group that's from CCRTA. So we're just looking at more work that we can do around that. But then we also picked another domain at our most recent meeting, and that was public safety. And so that's one of the add-ons when you get the dementia-friendly designation that wasn't in the original domain list.
Great.
So we'll be working with that one next.
Okay. What are some of the focuses of the public safety that you might be focusing on, and if people have maybe some suggestions?
Yeah, we absolutely take suggestions. We've invited somebody from the Barnstable Police Department to come and join our group. We already have somebody from the fire department, Dave Webb, as part of our group. There was a lot of talk about tracking devices and different ways that we could support the community community, by looking for grants for that kind of thing. I think there'll be a lot of really important suggestions that could come out and help through that. So we're really excited. We're really excited to have first responders at the table, to help us guide those talks.
Yeah. Another one of the domains that I think that the BAC does an extraordinary job with is social participation. There was recently a Cape Cod Times article that kind of piggybacked on a nationwide article about how Barnstable is a great place to retire. And the article talked a lot about the programs that you offer at the Barnstable Adult Community Center to keep people social and engaged. So let's talk about some of that.
The happiest place to retire,
Yes,
right?
yes.
That's how they ranked, which was wonderful. And yeah, I mean, we have a lot of different kinds of programming, obviously, at the center. I mean, from exercise to arts, events, programming, just anything relevant or that we see other centers offering or that we want to create on our own because people have asked. So that's really the fun part of our job is, identifying those things and putting new programming in motion. And a lot of the domains, there's already a lot of work being done around them.
Oh, yeah.
So
These are not new.
No, they might not be as heavy as a lift as you would think, but going down the road, everything is changing. So they may become more that way. But between the Council on Aging and the Planning Department and a lot of different departments in town, there's a lot of work being done. So part of what we'll do in this group is identify that work and either just get it out there or, add to it if we can and enhance it. So we're really excited about that.
So we're going to switch gears and talk a little bit more about the dementia friendly. We talked about safety. Dementia friendly communities promote awareness of dementia, educating citizens about how to best support people touched by dementia, and introducing systematic changes within businesses, government, and neighborhoods. Dementia, I think, is something that, I think everybody's been touched by. It's very prevalent in today day and age. So I think it's important that, helping people to understand how to work with someone who has dementia and maybe understanding, how that works. And I know that Stacey Cullen does a lot of programming with caregivers, support for dementia, and also supporting people who have dementia. So that's a big part of this new designation that you just received back in the fall. So let's talk about kind of what the picture looks like moving forward for that.
So great question, and we've actually added 2 more days of our respite and caregiving programming as of last fall.
Oh, that's
so
great.
That's, we're already moving forward with that. Stacey's very creative in what she brings in for different programming ideas. That we have programs and groups for the caregivers while the program is going on for their loved one. They do music and movement, they do chair exercise, they do a lot of fun stuff. They'll have lunch, and it's just a really nice way for them to be socially connected. And if their caregiver wants to stay in the building and be social at that time, or just go off and do some errands or things that they can't do because of their caregiver role very easily, it's just a nice matchup. So yeah, we're really happy
and
to.
Support for caregivers is something that the Barnstable Adult Community Center, even back when it was the senior center, it was a very important piece because it is, a lot of people do still need caregivers as you age.
Absolutely.
You have a lot of husbands helping take care of their wives and vice versa, and children taking care of their elderly parents, and giving caregivers that time for support and respite and being able to kind of do what they need to do without having to worry about their loved one. I think
it's essential for them not to burn out.
Yes,
really
burnout is very real. And so having that designation to kind of help support these programs, I think, is going to sustain things.
And I think that's how some of the younger, I think that's how it touches so many people, not just the older adults, because caregivers are any age, right, or any family member. So the understanding, I think, goes deeper than we think. It's not just segregated to a certain age population.
Exactly.
It's widespread.
It is. Yeah. It is. So what are some of the next steps for the Dementia and Age Friendly Steering Committee? Because I know that you've talked about, they've had meetings, you've focused on transportation, the next steps is public safety. How often are they meeting? And if people have questions or ideas, what's the best way to reach out?
So we meet once a month right now. We just started in the fall, so we've met about 3 times. So it's still pretty new. If people have ideas, they're welcome to reach out to me or anyone in the group, but I'm probably the best resource to bring that, put the agendas together for the meeting and that kind of thing. Yeah, and we're just really excited to kind of look at all of the domains, even though we're focusing on two, and we'll be bringing to light the work that's being done around those all the while we're working on those other endeavors. We will probably have some kind of a public forum coming up this probably spring or summer to just continually do things like that to get the word out, get public input, and let people know what the work around those domains is being done in the town.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Is there anything else about age-friendly, dementia-friendly that maybe I didn't ask you that you want to make sure our viewers are aware of?
No, I think you covered it wonderfully. We're just really excited to have such a forward-thinking community that has both of these designations in place and the work that can be done around them. It's not. There's really no end to it. This will be going on for a long time. We'll have certain goals that we'll meet and we'll be going for, but we'll be revisiting these over time because we see how things change so quickly. And people, like you said, how will it affect you? Well, people want to stay here. They want to age in place in Barnstable. So those people, as they age, will identify different things that we can help the work around as well.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Kelly, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you.
today.
Very nice to see you.